thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I want to dive right in. Talk to me a little bit about who is EQ Bank and who do you serve?
Sure. So EQ Bank is the digital bank of Equitable Bank. We have about 90,000 customers, $2.5 billion in deposits, and we're really looking to serve Canadians who are looking to earn more. So I would say our target market is really 25 to 45-year-olds who tend to be higher earners but not rich yet, but they're really looking for a different solution in the Canadian banking ecosystem. So our value proposition is, how do we give back more to the customers? We've gone the extra step to get rid of the construct of savings and checking accounts, which are somewhat artificial, and brought them together to say, earn a great interest rate on your checking account with no fees, but then also be able to do unlimited transactions.
So what challenges and opportunities are you seeing then in the challenger bank space, particularly in the Canadian marketplace?
In terms of opportunities, I think we're uniquely positioned because we are a bank, but we're a bank that thinks really differently. So unlike the big five banks in Canada that most people might be used to, we know that we need to think differently and give back more to the customers in order to really have a sustainable value proposition. But we also have all of the backing of bank-grade security, CDIC insurance, and so I think there's a really big opportunity for us to make a difference in the Canadian landscape. In terms of challenges, I think just the way that the Canadian landscape is set up, it is naturally more difficult for medium-sized or small-sized banks, or even fintechs for that matter, to compete because a lot of the ecosystem has kind of been set up around the big five or big six banks. For example, our debit network is Interac, which is effectively owned by the big six banks, and so it becomes more difficult for smaller players to access even the infrastructure.
And you mentioned that you're a deposit-taking bank, but what were the regulatory requirements needed to ultimately get established?
We were a little bit lucky in that regard. Equitable Bank, our parent company, has been around for about 50 years and started off as a trust company. And so because a lot of the compliance, AML, KYC, a lot of the regulatory foundations were already in place, we were able to translate our trust license into a bank license. I think admittedly in Canada and I'm sure other jurisdictions, it's quite difficult to go through the regulatory process of getting a bank license.
And then turning to the technical side of things, when it comes to your core banking solution, did you ultimately have to build your own, or did you turn to a third party to help you with that?
So we have a bit of a hybrid approach. So Temenos is our core banking partner and system, and they've been a great partner to us. And then we have a native front end, both on mobile and desktop, so it allows us to really deliver a top-notch customer experience to our customers.
Great. Well, Mahima, thank you so much for your insights. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
From Medici Studio, I'm Shannon Rossick.